North America is a giant scam.
Y'all cannot pay me enough to move back to Detroit.
Moving to Thailand has gave me the opportunity.
I'm on the 20th floor. 3 reasons why we left America.
Number one, I will be permanently leaving the United States and
to rebuild my life out.
More Americans are leaving the country than many realize it. Rising costs, housing struggle, and healthcare expenses and financial pressure are causing many to look for overseas for a better life. Why this trend keep on growing faster than we ever thought? What's happening in America right now? Leave your thought down below the comment and make sure you guys subscribe. Let's watch this clip.
We are all Black women who left America and moved to Africa. We are living in paradise and happy AF. God is good.
Text without believing how they said you supposed to believe it. And I think that's the problem. We're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. But if you look at those, I was trying to go
if you're speaking about like comedic texts and things of that nature, fine. But I'm saying this whole Bible,
but it comes from the comedic text.
Everybody,
because if you understand, and see, that's why I can say that, because I understand Kemet.
We're a family of 6 that decided to move our family from the US to Thailand. Now, we didn't just pack up and leave. There was a lot of research we did, and it took us about 9 months for us to really decide on where we were going to go and move our family to. Because we had never been to Thailand, we didn't know if this was going to be the best fit for our family. So we decided to put our business stock in storage as well as some pieces of furniture. Everything else that we owned, we ended up donating it. Before even booking our flights, we already knew what city we were going to move to. We did our research on the school system, we did our research on the visas, but most importantly, healthcare insurance was our top priority. We knew for a fact we were done paying American insurance providers, especially when we knew they weren't going to cover us fully abroad. So the city we decided to move to was Hua Hin, Thailand. It is a quiet beach town. Now for education, we ended up homeschooling our children and having a private nanny. For our visa, we decided to go on the education visa to learn Thai. And for our health insurance, because we never know and we have 4 children with us, we decided to go with Safety Wing. Now, let me tell you why Safety Wing is so amazing. You get to pay monthly without locking into a long-term contract, and it covers any medical visits, hospital stays, ER visits, and for me, gynecologist visits. So if you're family like us, or if you're an expat that wants to travel or live abroad, I highly recommend you check them out. I will put them in my link in my bio. But now that we have peace of mind and we know that we're not going to be set back thousands of dollars because of an emergency, now we get to travel everywhere we please. If you have any questions regarding moving to Thailand, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comments. Bye.
So one thing I noticed since moving abroad is, baby, I'm outside. I'm outside. I'm always outside. You know why? Because I finally feel peace. I can feel it in my body. My whole nervous system feels different. My nervous system is saying, Lonnie, finally, we're not fighting for our life. We're not dodging and ducking bullets. We outside around friendly people. We're not in the midst of chaos. We don't have to see and hear people fighting all day and arguing all day. We peace. So I'm outside. I'm outside. I'm outside. And I don't have to feel guilty about being outside. Finally, in my life, I don't have to fight and be in chaos.
It's the first of the month, so you know what that means. Rent is due again. And all my other bills. But rent is the biggest, starting off at 15,500 baht, which is around 475 USD. Then we got my electricity for 942 baht, which is around 29 USD. Then we got my water bill for 60 baht, which is about 2 USD. And oh my God, I forgot to tell y'all the tea about my phone bills. So recently I had to switch phone providers here in Thailand, and now with my new provider, I paid 1,500 baht for 6 months, which is about 46 US. Then I paid my class pass membership, which was 1,990 baht, which is about 61 USD. And of course, I put 1,000 baht on my train card, which is about 30 USD. And for the first of the month, that brings me to a grand total of about 21,000 baht, which is around 645 USD, which is probably not even rent if I was still in the US.
So to pay for all of this and it still be less than what I used to pay just to survive is truly a blessing. So if you've been feeling that pull to leave, to start over, to experience more out of life, then this is your sign, because I'm hosting my next Moving to Thailand Masterclass Sunday, April 19th at 7 p.m. EST, live on Zoom. And I'm giving you everything: jobs, visas, housing, culture, all of it. Link in bio to reserve your spot. Mwah. Bye. When was the last time that you've been on a vacation? Yeah, I'm not surprised, because America does not prioritize rest. And I'm so blessed and I'm so thankful that Thailand gives me the opportunity to rest. This week I was working really hard. I finally hit 20,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I was like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. You know what I did? I booked me a trip. I'm at the beach. I'm at the beach. I love that moving to Thailand has gave me the opportunity to stop and exist. I don't have to work on overdrive and keep producing when I know my cup is empty. If my cup is empty, I have the opportunity to pause and fill it up. So if you would like that same opportunity, make sure y'all sign up for my next Move into Thailand Masterclass Sunday, April 19th at 7 p.m. EST, live on Zoom, where I'll be giving y'all the blueprint, the breakdown, the step-by-step, everything that you need to do to thrive and succeed in a move to Thailand. My father always says, learn through the mistakes of others. If you've been following my journey, you know I made a bunch of mistakes when I first moved here. So this is your opportunity to not make those same mistakes that I made. See y'all there.
I moved from Detroit to Thailand, guys, and this is a year in. And when I tell y'all cannot pay me enough to move back to Detroit, to move back to the cold, to move back to the US. Y'all can't pay me enough to do that. When I tell y'all, it is beautiful here. I ain't never met no genuine people like Thai people. Like, I mean, so freaking for real. Actually safe here. Like, it's a great place for families, a great place for children. Even if you're single and coming out here, this is a freaking great place to live. The pace is so chill here. Like, I've gotten a complete reset of my nervous system. I know when I posted a video like this when I first got here and it was like 4 days in, everybody was like, oh, you're not gonna last a year, oh this, oh that, oh they don't like black people there. That's not true, not true at all. We have been enjoying our time here, and it's been the most amazing experience for me, my family, my husband loves it, our children love it. It's been the most amazing experience ever. And like, I always knew that I was supposed to be somewhere tropical. And for a while I knew it was going to be Thailand, but like being able to get here, freaking life changing. Being able to live here, freaking life changing. But the only way that we were able to do this was because we learned how to make money online. I started off TikTok shop in 2024. I did not believe the numbers that people was putting up, but I just tried it because I was driving Uber all damn day. So I said, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I tried it. I ended up in a completely different country, in a completely different tax bracket, and it has completely changed my freaking life. Now I've been able to help so many other students do the same exact thing. Quit jobs they hate, relocate, buy new cars, buy new homes, make 4, 5, and even 6 figures in a single month. So what I'm telling you guys right now is that you are literally one decision away from changing everything in your life and living the dream life that you desire. And all these places that you would love to travel to, you can go to. You just got to learn how to make money on your phone that you're using right now. And if you want to get my step-by-step blueprint on exactly how you're going to do this too, comment down below playbook or go grab it in my profile if you want me to send you the guide.
If y'all needed any more reasoning as to why I'm leaving the country, take a look at this absolute abomination of city planning. Unfortunately, this is how most of America looks outside of big cities. This is not a country anymore, but a functional economic zone that you are meant to contribute to until your life ends. And maybe if you're lucky, every year or two, you can take a vacation to actually live for once somewhere else in the world.
Here's a few reasons on why moving to Thailand was one of the best decisions I've ever made. First up, the cost of living is drastically lower than what it would be in the United States, plus the work-life balance is honestly something you can't beat. And today I'm going to show you the cost of a few things in Bangkok just so that way you can see how cheap it actually is living here. First up, you can rent a luxury high-rise apartment for just $500 a month, and honestly with views like this, you really can't get this anywhere else. Plus, Bangkok has so many Michelin Guide restaurants where you could eat a whole meal for less than $2. And this smoothie that would cost $25 in LA only costs $1.75 here, and this coffee cost me 50 cents. And we're not even going to get into the fact that you can go to the doctor and the dentist for literally less than $100. So yeah, I'd have to say living in Thailand is pretty nice, and honestly, if you haven't already, I would highly recommend booking a trip out here. If you're thinking about selling everything and moving to Thailand, let me give you all the info you need. My name is Jimmy. I'm a nomad living in Thailand. I left America and sold everything I owned to rebuild my life out here. And now I'm here to show you how you can do this too. So let's start with the basics, your expenses, your three main categories: accommodation, food, and transportation. So accommodation, when you land, skip the hostels and the hotels. They drain your budget fast. If you're rebuilding your life, you want a long-term stay. Check Facebook Marketplace or Fazwas. Condos, apartments, houses, all shapes and sizes. You can find places from $100 to $500 a month, depending on your luxury. You want a gym, pool, security, hire it. But being around locals in a simple home, you'll find beautiful, cheap options. And the best part, no credit score, just cash. For food, Thailand is a cheat code. Local meals are $1 to $3. Even groceries are a quarter of what they'd cost you in the US. Food is fresher, less processed, and made with love. You're not gonna have trouble finding food out here. I'm plant-based, and I don't have trouble finding meals. Transportation. Almost everyone rides with scooters, and you can too. Renting one is about $60 a month. No car payment, no insurance, no stress. And if you don't want to ride a bike, don't worry. Grab, which is like Thailand's Uber and Lyft, is very affordable. Rides start at $1. If this video helped, follow for part 2, where I break down visas and how to stay long-term. And if you're serious about moving and rebuilding, comment Thailand, and I'll send you my free guide and the link to my ebook, How to Sell Everything and Start Fresh in Thailand.
I moved solo from California to Thailand just 28 days ago, and as you may have guessed, it's a lot more affordable to live here in comparison. So I'm gonna do a little condo tour and tell you how much I pay. I live in a 2-story duplex. It's a 1-bedroom, and the bedroom is upstairs. But I have this incredible view here, which is really what sold me on this unit, because I don't know where in the States I could get a view like this without paying an arm and a leg. So I knew when I saw this view, I just had to live here. I believe this is a 30 to 32 square meter apartment, so it is relatively small. Yeah, I know, but it does have really tall ceilings and big windows, so it feels larger. So when you walk through the front door, you have a fridge and closet storage to the right. Moving on from the closet area, which, hey baby, oh, she's so sweet. We've got the kitchen. Kitchen's right here. Yep, we got a little stovetop, which I'm not going to be using. We have the sink, washer. There is no dryer combo, unfortunately, for this one, and a little bit of storage. From the kitchen, the bathroom is located on the other side. It's quite spacious, and it's just enough space for one person. Quite a bit of storage in here as well. Now coming through here, we've got the living room, which is the main hangout area. Again, those sliding glass doors. And we've got my library, little bookcase. Again, built-in storage everywhere. Tall floor-to-ceiling windows, TV, and then the stairs to the second floor. And the bedroom is up there. But when you move into condos here, they're typically furnished entirely. So I was really looking for one that had, curtains that I liked, furniture, all of that stuff that I thought looked cute, because I didn't want to have to buy a ton. Unfortunately, I still had to buy stuff to make this feel homey. But the thing that really sold me on this unit specifically is the fact that all of these types of duplex units have the built-in shelves floor to ceiling, which is amazing for storage considering the size. I think it's about 30 square meters. But this one specifically had wood shelving. And I thought the wood tone was gorgeous, and it made it feel more warm in here. And then on top of that, all the books were included in this room. No, they're not real. I wish they were. But it really gave the vibe of Beauty and the Beast, especially with this ladder. I love it so much. It's so cool. This is the living room. Couch was included. TV was included, although the TV did just break. Yeah. The one thing I will say is the staircase is actually a full-size staircase. It's huge. It should be smaller considering it's just one person in here, right? It would leave more space for everywhere else. But the thing is, they did put storage underneath the staircase, which I'm assuming is maybe why they went with the larger staircase. Now moving on to the upstairs portion, where there is a large king-size bed that takes over the entire floor. I don't know why a single person would need a bed this big, but in my opinion, it's, a smaller bed would have worked better. And then over here, there's this large desk, which fits perfectly and is actually a really great workspace. And you do have a view from up here as well. And of course, one of the major selling points for this place was the view. It also includes 2 gyms, 2 pools, and 5 co-working spaces, along with a restaurant downstairs in a prime location, guys. So how much do you think this cost me? $975. Now, this may seem like a lot, and it kind of is for Thailand, if I'm being honest, but I do have a pet. Therefore, it's definitely more pricey when you have an animal involved, I will say. If I didn't have a pet, I would not be paying nearly as much. I'd probably pay around like $500, and I could live in a much newer condo, but you know, you get what you get. And there were even less expensive condos in this, I guess, complex that were not as new, that had a worse view, that were lower to the ground, but I just wanted what I wanted. And just in comparison, I was paying $2,400 for my 2-bedroom apartment back in California, and that place was built in the 40s. Yeah, there's really just no comparison between the two. So I hope you guys like my apartment tour. If you have any other questions for me, feel free to drop a comment below.
One of the top reasons why I got my family out of the United States was for our safety. I don't think I could have ever foreseen the events that are taking place in the United States right now, but what I did know 2 years ago is that I wanted to send my daughter to school safely with the peace of knowing that I would be able to pick her up at the end of the day. I knew that we could have access to affordable and top-of-the-line quality care abroad, and I didn't have to struggle to find a way to pay for our medical expenses. I knew that I wouldn't have to worry about being stopped on the street or invaded by police in the comfort of my own home just because of the color of my skin. I knew that making this move would give us the safety, security, and a sense of peace that we would never find living in constant anxiety and fear in the United States as a mixed-race family. People love to say that the grass isn't greener on the other side, but those are the ones who never take a moment to look around them to see that theirs is burning. I'll be honest, living abroad isn't easy, and it isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but I don't have to worry about my safety or the safety of my family, and that alone was worth every sacrifice to start a new life in another country.
North America is a giant scam. This is what $1,500 a month gets me in Thailand. I left because the math just stopped mathing. Back home, we work all month just to survive. Rent, insane. Food, expensive. And the weather, terrible. Half the year is depressing. Out here in Thailand, I pay $450 a month for my rent and $1,500 in total for my entire expenses. Plus, I live on a resort. And I'm not just surviving, I'm actually living. And it's not just about the money. The people here, way nicer. There's actually a sense of community and you wake up happy instead of stressed. Food, better. Lifestyle, better. Mental health, way better. North America normalizes struggling and calls it success. I found a better way of life. Now tell me I'm wrong.
A lot of you guys wonder why I left America. It's because it's always nice weather. And you have a beautiful view like this. You got the river view, all for less than $5,000 a month. I'm also located where pretty much every major country that I want to visit is like a 3, maybe 5 hour flight away. Like in America, I have to travel like 15 to 18 hours on average to get to any other part of the countries that I would want to visit, like Dubai or whatever. So it's like being in this central Southeast Asia location is honestly one of the best hubs to be in. You have your long-term place here, and then you just travel all over the place to see people and family and stuff like that. I think that we're seeing a shift where a lot of people are leaving America. The people that I know who have money, they're all leaving America. They are giving up completely on America. They don't need to be in America, especially if you run a digital business or you have employees who can run your operations in America for you. They're all trying to leave. They're all getting out of America. And so this is really where the rich is going. They're going to Southeast Asia. They're going to Dubai, anywhere but America at this point.
Why did you move out the country? Why did you move out the country, gang? I'm financially free. Ain't that what we all strive to be? Ain't that what we all want is to be financially free? I don't have to have a car no more. I don't have to pay car insurance. I don't have to have all these big overhead bills. My water bill $3. My electricity bill $23. My rent is $700. I'm on the 20th floor. I'm on the 20th floor, and I got a house clipper that come and clean my crib every Wednesday. Y'all be saying all these other stuff, bro. I am free. I don't have to worry about the way I dress. I don't have to buy designer clothes. I don't have to look a certain way because I'm not in America. That's all American based. We all think about materialistic things. We all buying Jordans and clothes and shoes and having all this stuff just to impress other people that don't even know us. Here, I can wear a flip-flops. I can wear a muscle shirt and nobody gonna judge me. I can get dropped off in the club with a scooter. I can ride a scooter for $2. I don't have to have a car. I can it ain't no money in America to where the point, bro, people is literally waiting to pay their rent on December the 5th or November the 5th. They waiting to the last minute because We ain't no money cash flowing like that, bro. People don't have it no more. People don't have it no more, bro. Going to the grocery store, you can save money, bro. You can't even save money. You pick up 6 items, you already at $268. Like, people don't got it no more, bro. People only paying enough for what they can pay for. That's why Black Friday didn't do good. Nobody buying 68, 80-inch TVs no more because people don't have it. People are really paying for the stuff that really matter, and that's a roof over their head and a car to drive to work. People don't got money to be fucking off no more. I moved out the country to better my life. I came out here by myself to experience the world and see what the world got to offer. And America be telling us, oh, this is a third world country. They poor. They don't have this. They don't have that. Man, these people got everything. They got iPhones, Netflix, Hulu, shoes, Jordan's clothes. Stop letting America just tell y'all everything. Everybody telling me, okay, let's cut the shit. Cut the shit. Okay, I'm going to cut the shit. I moved out the country because it's cheap. Because it is cheap. Yes, I moved out the country because it is cheap. I don't have to worry about every single day working a job, going to pay bills. I use this check just to pay this light bill and this water bill. Then I'm having to use this check just to pay this rent. Then I'm having to use this check just to pay for just a speeding ticket or just other things. Like, yes, I came out the country to Thailand because it is cheap. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about saving this check to pay this bill, saving this check to pay this bill. I don't have to worry about going broke off of paying bills or working just to pay bills. Yes, I moved out the country because it's cheap. Y'all want me to cut the shit? I cut the shit. And when I moved out the country, I realized this was the best place to ever move in. The food is good. The people are nice. We got clubs. We got bars. We got mega malls. Everything, the amenities that I have, everything in America is right here. My phone bill is $14. Yes, I moved out here because it is cheap, to cut the bullshit.
These are 3 reasons why we left America. Number 1 is the peace. Number 1 is the peace of being in Thailand, fam. One thing about me, when I was in America, my nigga, like, I was great walking through the hood, clutching on everything. Like, having to go to the store and really worrying about if this gonna be your last time walking because people are shooting or somebody's got killed there every week. Like, you straight on the gas, you straight on the gas. Me, you don't get none of that here. All you see is greenery, people, Sawadee cop, you feel me? It's just nothing but peace and love.
Hey, reason number 2, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. The freedom is just amazing, bro. No cap, my bro got a chain in the pool, like, just because, like, you feel me? Hey, this is really an off-white shirt, but in the pool just because, like.
Bro, turn around, look right there. You see mangoes on the trees and banana trees right there. One of the main reasons I came out here is for the food. I'm not gonna lie, and that shit cheap. And that shit cheap.
Immaculate, bro.
Exactly. It's so immaculate to the point to where you can get in the pool with all your clothes on.
This is about to become a regular thing. Mango actually feel pretty good, twin. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? It actually feel pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, twin. Close this out, bro. Let them know how to get out here, though. Nigga, a fucking airplane.
I had just made the executive decision that I will be permanently leaving the United States in less than a year and a half. Say what you will, but this is every reason I have of why I want to leave. Let's speed run this shit. Number 1, if you're not making at least $150,000 a year or more, or at least have multiple streams of income, congratulations, you will be struggling for a very long time. Rent is incredibly expensive. It is almost impossible to buy a house. People cannot afford to rent an apartment or to live by themselves. Wages have been decreasing. Insurance is a scam. Healthcare and insurance has went up, and millions of American citizens no longer have healthcare. Many of the jobs online that you can apply to are fake. Hundreds of thousands of people are losing their jobs. Inflation keeps increasing, and all the administration has to do is blame Biden for it. Number 2, racism is extremely belligerent all across the United States. Not just towards black people, but for other people of color who isn't a white Christian. Black people and other people of color are losing their rights, their equality, and their freedom. Asians, Hispanics, Arabs, Muslims, the list goes on. This country is incredibly hateful, spiteful, and the only thing they do is blame others for their downfall. Since the beginning of 2025, based on records, 7 black men has been found lynched. Still no justice for any of them to this day. White supremacists, Proud Boys, Nazis, they're out there marching, chanting out in public while our government, our president, and our law enforcement does nothing about it. Number 3, we are completely controlled by Israel and billionaires. We fall under an oligarchy. But hey, at least Elon Musk will become a trillionaire, right? Number 4, since the beginning of 2025, there has been 75 school shootings. 53 are dead, while 148 were injured. There has been 84 mass shootings, not including school shootings. The death count is still climbing to this day. Number 5, bombing and going to war with unnecessary countries. Iran, Venezuela, need I say more? Number 6, tariffs. They have done nothing but make the American citizens' lives harder. All it did was make everything more expensive. It was supposed to bring back jobs to the United States, but we're actively losing them. Number 7, our administration and the government has severely defunded the education system. Colleges, high schools, even Ivy Leagues has been severely defunded. So much so that they don't even have enough money to give out scholarships to the kids who rightfully deserve it. Number 8, tax breaks, not for the average American citizen, but for billionaires and anyone else who is making over $250,000 a year. Anyone else who falls under that bracket, congratulations, you're getting taxed more. And number 8, insurance company has the absolute right to decline you of any services if they don't feel like paying it to you. If you get cancer, break an arm, maybe get sick or something else happens, maybe a car accident, they can look at that shit and go, nah. Or better yet, they could just flat out cancel your insurance claim or your account. Number 9, maternity leave fucking sucks in the United States. The most you'll ever get, especially after you've gave birth, is maybe 2 months. Most likely less. Remember, you're a slave to the corporation. You don't actually have freedom. Pay time off, sick leave, just about. You get hardly any of that. When you have accumulated at least 2 weeks of vacation time in the last 3 years alone, they will do everything they can to keep you from not taking it. What can I say? That's American corporations, right, America? Number 10, there are American celebrities and billionaires, including multiple people who hold a chair in the government affiliation and power, are human traffickers. Number 11, America doesn't have universal health care. That's a big one. So if you get sick, have cancer, break a leg, maybe get shot, guess what? It costs you an arm and a leg to get better. I still have like 10 more, but I'm not going to do that. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. America's the greatest country in the world.
My husband and I were sitting on the porch this morning and we were just discussing the culture in the United States and how there's always this undercurrent of like violence and hostility, and it's everywhere all the time, and you feel very vulnerable to it. And sometimes you don't really even know you're feeling it, but it's there. And I asked him, when you go to a movie theater, do you assess who's in the room and who might be a threat and who might be hiding something in their coat, and like what you would do if they just like stood up and started shooting? Like, how are you going to get out of the room? How are you going to keep our boys safe? And he's like, yeah, I do. And I said, I do too. We never talked about that openly. And we both agreed, like, we do it all the time. We're at the grocery store, at a concert, at church, at our kids' school. What if who among these people is a threat? And what would we do if they stood up and started to do something? How would we get out of here? How would we protect our kids and ourselves? That is always in our minds. And I don't think we realize the mental toll and the physical toll that takes on us to always be doing those mental calculations. And then not only that, but the culture in the US is such that you're always feeling like someone is trying to get one over on you or like use you somehow. There's always this sense of like you're competing, you're not helping each other, you're not supporting each other, you're competing with each other. And that person he's your enemy. He's your neighbor, but he's also your enemy. Like you try to make sure that he doesn't mow on your side of the lawn too much because that's yours. That's your property. He's trying to take it from you. There's this sense of like it's real like selfishness and self-centeredness, and gotta get mine and keep mine and not let anyone else take mine. And I'm really looking forward not to feel that all the time. I don't think we realize that we're feeling it. We're not conscious of it all the time, but I really want to not feel it, you know? And I want to raise my sons not to think that way or have those sort of feelings or have to do those calculations in their head about like, how am I going to get out of this without getting shot? That's what I want. So that's why I am taking my 2 sons, who are 7 and 9, and my husband and myself to the other side of the world to get away from this place.
I moved to Barcelona yesterday and I didn't tell anyone. Well, I told the important people. Everyone else is just going to find out because whatever. I'm 34 years old. I just moved here to start a whole new life. It's something I've always wanted to do. And it's not a forever decision. It might be, but who knows? I can always go back. So if you're thinking about it, just give it a try. I'm here for 90 days as a tourist, and I'm switching my visa to digital nomad visa, which is forcing me to have to create my online business that I said I was always going to do. And because I have an LLC, I'm able to pay myself to make it look like I already have it. Don't tell anyone. Just kidding. Well, just don't tell the government. You should tell your friends so you can do it. Anyways, I'm here I'm going to be trying to document all of the tips and tricks as to how I got here, maybe how I'm going to stay here, hopefully, and the dating life in between. I switched my Hinge before getting here. I already have 3 dates lined up. Like, it's a whole fucking switch. And I'm here to share it with you, bring you along for the ride. It's actually pretty cold here, but the city is magical. And I'm just so excited. You're never too old for anything.
My life in Spain isn't that exciting. I know, not what you expected me to say. But here's the thing. When you first move abroad, everything feels cinematic. The language, the streets, the way people eat dinner at 10 p.m. It all feels like a scene from a movie that you're finally living in. And then you adjust. The routine sets in. You have a Sunday that looks a lot like every other Sunday. Groceries, kids, coffee that goes cold before you can even finish it. And what nobody tells you is that that is actually the milestone, not the arrival. The moment when a foreign country just becomes your life. Different? Yes. Chaotic in its own way? Absolutely. But also quietly, beautifully, just life. And I think there's something worth finding in that.
I just moved to Spain 3 weeks ago. I am moving on a digital nomad visa. I am the primary visa holder, so my family is actually coming on my visa. I have 2 kids. My husband, he will be able to work from anywhere because of the fact that he is tied to my visa. So he can work in Spain or any of the other Schengen countries here in Europe. So there will be no restrictions for him. I just encourage those of you out there who are trying to figure out a way to make it happen. You've been praying about this for a long time. It is possible. I have prayed for this for years. I didn't know at the time how I was going to get here. Had I known what I know now, I would have done it a long time ago. There are a lot of visas out there that people don't realize exist. There's everything from employer-sponsored work visa to digital nomad visa, which is the one that I am currently on. Ancestry, maybe you have family ties and you don't even realize that you can get visa in another country. Entrepreneurs, passive income visa. There's a skilled migrant visa. Certain professions that are in demand, you can actually come and work in the country. Retirement visa, student visas, marriage partner visa. The moral of the story is that you may not have it all figured out. There are lots of different visas out there. The ones that I shared with you are not applicable across every single country, so you would have to look at the visa requirements for the country that you are interested in. I didn't think it was possible. And here I am in Spain, never thinking that this was going to be possible for someone like me. If it's possible for someone like me, it is possible for you too.
Would either of you ever move to those countries?
The faith that I have in this country is so low right now, I'll move anywhere.
It's just getting lower and lower to, like, I literally was just talking with them about how, like, I'm seeing so many tents on Lakeshore Drive, and I've lived here for my entire life, and I've never seen a city become so unlivable despite it being so beautiful, which is, like, really disappointing to see. And I just know that the wages to be able to live in the U.S. are getting higher and higher and becoming unattainable. So I'd rather live somewhere where that's possible and I can still, like, do what I want to do and do what I feel is needed to do in terms of, like, my career and other things.
One of the things I have come to realize about living in Portugal for almost 3 months, it feels like a breakup from America. Let me explain. If you've ever been in a really unhealthy, toxic relationship, you don't really realize it until you leave that relationship and you get with someone else who just lights you up. They bring you so much joy. You feel lighter. You're happier. You're not so stressed. And you look back at that last relationship and you're just like, wow, I deserve so much more than that. That's how it feels being away from the US. Sure, no country is perfect. They all have their problems. There's literally a strike almost every day here in Portugal. But what I can say, the people are kind. I can send my daughter to school safely. My mental health is better than it's ever been in my entire life. I'm eating fresh food. I'm getting outside in nature. I'm not in a rush. I have community around me. I have access to good health care. I get to spend time with my family. There isn't much I miss about the US.
I live and work in Spain, making roughly 1,000 euros a month, which in America is nothing, but in Spain is more than enough to live. I only work 16 hours a week, and I'm able to afford a super nice apartment in the city center of Madrid. Food costs me 20 euros a week. My electric bill is like 30 euros a month. I don't have to worry about gas or a car payment or insurance because the public transportation system is so world class that you don't even need a car at all. Madrid is like the New York of Spain, except if you were living in the city center of New York, you'd have to be making literally at least $5,000 a month, and that's extremely lowballing it. Just their way of life in general, like, is so much more relaxed and just taking time to enjoy life rather than just working constantly. They literally have a siesta in the middle of the day where they take 3 hours to go nap or go to a coffee shop to hang out with friends. Like, the American mind cannot fathom. It's just crazy to me because, like, you've been told growing up your whole life that America is the best country in the world. That's just so far from the truth. And it's, like, very obvious how much worse it is now that I've gotten out.
It's official. Tomorrow I'm moving out to Thailand. Alone. I quit my job, I'm moving out my family's home, and I've said all my goodbyes. When I land, I've got nothing lined up for me. No job, no place to live, no friends, yet.
I'm leaving the country, I figured I'd explain those reasons to you. Number one, and the most obvious, cost of living. I moved from Connecticut to Florida a little over a decade ago, originally to West Palm Beach, where I still own a condo. Now I live in Fort Lauderdale, where I pay $2,700 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and it includes nothing. Well, then why'd you leave your condo, stupid? Because my mortgage skyrocketed as well. The HOA payment, which was once $400 when I first purchased the place, and includes cable, water, and amenities like pool, hot tub, gym, etc., is now $1,200 a month. So I rented it to supplement my income and improve my lifestyle. It hasn't really worked, and I will be selling. Reason number 2, quality of life. See, 10 months ago, my wife and I had our first child. She is now 10 months old. Daycare is a killer. And so like many young families in this country, we had to make a decision. Does my wife work to pay for daycare, or does she stop working so we spend more time with the kids? That's what we chose to do. Somehow it leads back to finances, though, because I needed to hustle up and add side gigs so that I could actually afford to save some money for the family or do things that aren't just eat, sleep, repeat. Reason number 3, political climate. See, while the actual climate here is the political climate, dear Lord. Because while the Orange Goblin and his musky sidekick are a problem, the actual people in the country who co-sign all the things that they're actually saying, to me, are more concerning. Because I have to actually interact with these people on a daily basis, and I don't want to. And see, it's not because of their race or background. Their moral compass is trash. That leads me to reason number 4, and the final reason, which is cultural enrichment. I look forward to my daughter being multilingual, as my wife is. I look forward to myself being multilingual. I've struggled with Spanish for many years, and I cannot wait to actually just immerse myself in a Spanish culture so that I can take the base learning I already have and make it fluency. And so while we'll start with a Spanish-speaking country, probably in Central America, we plan to move somewhere in Asia, and then hopefully that can turn into a 3rd and 4th language for both myself and my child. And to be clear, it's not all about language, right? You have to actually immerse yourself in the community, building a community, get to know the people, have a little bit slower paced of a lifestyle. These are all things that we look forward to.
Today is my last day here in my house. Tomorrow I leave for Bali indefinitely, and it just feels like very bittersweet, so surreal. And I truly, like, I love my house. I love my house. This has been my home for the past year and a half where I've really sought refuge. This has been my haven. And yes, I'm moving to Bali, like, and it's very bittersweet, and it sucks. Like, I just can't live here anymore. My children are here. I don't really speak to my family, but my children live here. They're 14 and 18 years old. Just don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. I have lived here almost 40 years of my life. there's so much more to the world. There's so much more to the world than just this little piece of backyard, this house. There's so much to see, and I don't want to see it only 2 times a year, only 2 weeks a year. I want a vacation. I want to travel for all my life, but just know that there are sacrifices. There are sacrifices that are made. And this is one of them, having to give up my house yet again, willingly, but having to do this in order to get to what I want. This is the closing of a chapter and the beginning of another one, and it's beautiful, it's bittersweet, but at the same time it's the bitter part now. It's the bitter part now.
People follow me because I moved from the USA to South Africa about 2 years ago. They followed me because I showed the glitz and glam of everyday life as an expat living abroad. But the thing that y'all don't know that I seldom talk about is the fact that I left America running. I literally sold everything that I had acquired over my whole life in a span of about 3 months so that I could relocate with my man and my kids to a new country because I was tired. In my 20s, I was tired. I was exhausted of the rat race. I was tired of running and trying to figure shit out all the time. I was tired of paying bills that just didn't make sense anymore. I was tired of only working to survive and never seeing any of the money in a meaningful way. I was tired of having to put my mental health on the back burner and not being able to spend all the time that I wanted to with my children. I literally got PTSD for how many times I saw a person that looked like me or my children get unalived by police officers or some other BS in the States. And the truth is, I was scared to become my mom. Me and my mom had kids around the same age in life. She was about 22. I was about 22. She had 2 kids. I had 2 kids. She ended up raising her kids by herself. I ended up in a situation. And I knew how hard my mother worked all of her life to have everything that she had. And I love her and I value her and I appreciate her so much for it. But every single time I talked to her on the phone, I grew more and more resentment for who I was becoming. And it's not because she's not a great person, because she is. She's the best woman. She's the strongest woman. She's the most fearful woman. She's the best woman that you could know. She's a fucking superwoman. But I didn't want to be a superhero. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be a lady. I wanted to be a flower. I wanted to be well kept. I wanted to be easy going. I wanted to be able to breathe. I wanted to be free of anxiety, free of stress. I wanted to be a woman. And I knew that what America demanded of me was not that version of myself. I knew that I could not show up as who I wanted to be fully and still be compensated fairly enough to be able to continue to live that lifestyle. So I sold everything that I ever had, y'all. I moved here with literally 2 suitcases for each person in my house. And it changed me. No matter how good I make this shit look, y'all, it was hard. It was difficult. I'm talking about panic attacks, sleepless nights, losing weight, gaining weight, working 2 and 3 jobs, robbing Peter to pay Paul just to make sure my kids can go to school. But by the grace of God and the strength that my mama passed down to me, baby, we got it done. And yes, this move was for my house, but it's for my family. It's for my lineage, and I can't wait for them to join us. We moved out here for everybody. For real, for the culture.
I get asked all the time, why would you leave the USA to come to Africa, or specifically Namibia, if it's a Namibian asking? I realize a lot of people don't know the experience of what a Black American looks like. But the first answer is, it's spiritual. This is the land that my ancestors are from. I am from African ancestry, and this is where I believe I belong. My ancestors came from here. They didn't come because they wanted to be in America. They came because they were taken as captives, prisoners of war. And that is a different thing than if they had decided, if my ancestors said, I love America, I love this land, I want to go there. Maybe that's a different thing. Maybe I'd have a different spirit about it. But at this point, I felt a deep spiritual call, and my husband as well. We felt a deep spiritual call to be in this land. And it was a spiritual call we could not deny for any conveniences that we might have had in the States. So we achieved the American dream in the States. We worked very hard. We both came from families that were hardworking people that had to work from the bottom to the, to get to college and to achieve our dreams. And then we were able to save up enough money to be able to make this move, which is expensive and risky. And it takes a lot of money to do that. But we achieved the American dream, and we took our American dream dollars and brought them to Africa to reinvest here. And that means a lot to us. And again, that's a very spiritual thing to do. And for those who don't really understand what it meant to be a Black American, I mean, it's very tough to tell that story in a TikTok. But America in and of itself is not the place it's propagandized to be. It's a place with a lot of challenges and problems. There's a lot of poverty in America. People in America are poor. They live on the concrete on the street, and it's illegal to live on the street. So they can be arrested for sleeping on the street. There are a lot of shootings and things like that. There's a lot of death that we witness to the point that we're desensitized to it. I remember taking my husband to my hometown, and we went to go visit my aunt. And across the street from my aunt, there was a clear crime scene. And I asked my aunt what happened. She's like, "Hey, baby, I'm so glad to see you guys. But good to see you too. But what happened across the street?" She said, "Oh, I think a little kid was killed. But I got some food for you." And I'm like, "Okay." We just kind of had to ignore it. And the whole time we're looking at each other like, there was a murder across the street. They're still sleeping. And she's just like, "Oh, yeah, it's fine. I'm glad you're here. I haven't seen you in years. I miss you." I'm like, okay, this is America. This is what it looks like. I mean, it's all of the above. It's wealth, and it's extreme poverty, and it's murder. I remember going, I was hosting an event, and that morning I had to run. I was trying to rush to go get some sodas and stuff from Walmart. And there had been these news stories about this Walmart shooter. And I remember seeing the stories, but I was like, I still got to go to the grocery store. So I got up that morning to go to Walmart. And then I'm behind this car, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm so mad because I'm rushing. The police are pulling somebody over, and there's so many police I can't even get around it or something or anything. And then it turns out they open the trunk, and there's a bunch of big guns in the back of the car. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm behind the Walmart shooter on the way to Walmart. We were both on the way to the same store at the same time. Oh my gosh. That's life in America. That was life in Colorado, the birthplace of school shootings. And again, America has both of the things. It has beautiful things. It has places that are as beautiful as this, what I'm in right now. And it has places as dark as what you would think hell might look like. They literally have places named after hell in America. Rightly so, because they're dark places. So it goes it goes every direction in that country. So there's no one America. There's no one American experience. There's really no one Black American experience. So I say all that to just say, what you believe America is may not be accurate, and that is part of the reason people can't even believe why anybody would want to leave. Why would you want to leave the USA? It's got to be the best place ever, and it's not necessarily the best place ever. And then people that don't know about Africa will say, "Why would you go to Africa? It's not a great place. Like, why? It's in poverty. It's a third world country." And I'm like, Africa has many countries. And it's not a third world continent. And even the third world has some amazing features and beauty and beautiful people and culture. And being third world, which is a very old concept, just means not like what you knew, not industrialized the way you knew it. Poverty exists just like it is in America. I have fed people on the street in America. I have seen starving children in America. And so I know that it exists in both places. So, I'm not trying to minimize anything. I'm just trying to remind people that haven't been to Africa that there are many, many parts of Africa. There are many, many experiences in Africa just like in the States. So just like in the States, you can be in poverty in the United States, have very little, live in a dilapidated house. You can in Africa live in poverty in a dilapidated house and scrimp and scrounge for food. You can also be very wealthy and live in a giant house and have an abundance of everything that you'd ever want living in Africa, and for a lot cheaper than you can get it in America. Just saying, So the experiences that we're talking about, there's diverse experiences everywhere. So don't discount, the experience of a person and what guides and leads them. I'm guided by spirit. And so my guidance is in here. And my guidance tells me this is the place I need to be. This is my home. And I'm happy to be home.
If I didn't have no food, I could go to a mango tree right down the street from where I live and eat mangoes, bro. I could go to a well, there's real life a whole well. If I didn't have no water, I could go to this well right here and get water from it. You can't do that in America. If you don't have no food or you don't have no water, nigga, you got to steal in America. Where's you gonna get water from? On what grave? Where is you gonna find water? Where is you gonna find vegetables, bro? Natural vegetables that's not genetically modified, bro. You wanna know how you can move to Africa, West Africa? Comment the word travel.
So I left the United States and I moved to South Africa, and this is my penthouse. Let me show y'all. Listen, I had to move because I understood shit was different. I was like, damn, I can't live my whole life in one place. I gotta go see different things. I gotta go learn new different things. A lot of y'all never learned nothing because you never experienced nothing. Go try something new. So I was like, fuck it, let me get a penthouse in South Africa, in Cape Town to be exact. They call this the motherland, man. So I'm gonna show y'all my penthouse. I really did not know South Africa was coming like this, but when I found out, if you knew better, you would do better. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all look like, oh, he moved to South Africa. Let me tell you something. My home is not here on earth. It's in heaven. Understand this. When I say I moved, that means wherever I'm at the time is where I live at. Understand this. Just because that's on your license don't mean you live there. It's a lot of y'all that ain't even cross state lines, bro. Quit being so small-minded. Quit being so boxed in. Get your fucking passport. Y'all fucking money off on designer and buying cars and stupid ass shit like that. But you ain't traveled. Now, this penthouse, as y'all can see, I have a full view. We got ocean right here. Bingo. Balcony. You feel what I'm saying? Balcony go overly crazy. Got the FIFA World Cup where they play FIFA at. One of the biggest, most luxurious golf courses right here. Got the whole fucking city. Got the tabletop mountain right there. I was in Miami. I was just kicking it in Miami because I wanted to leave Atlanta because it was 19 degrees. So I went to Miami. Then I understood. I was like, damn, it's cold in Miami too. So the same day, I booked the flight to Cape Town, South Africa, a 16-hour flight without thinking. Guess what? Success loves speed. You don't have to have it all figured out. And one thing I learned about money, I used to think the money would be cool to buy cars and materialistic shit. I thought money was good for that. But once I realized money just allows you to escape situations that you don't want to be in. If I don't want to be cold, I have the money to not be in the cold. It's summertime out here. A lot of people simply can't do this because they don't have the finances. And stop thinking money is not everything because you're risking 12 hours of your day going to work. You're going to work giving this fucking job half of your life, barely making ends meet for money. So don't tell me money is not everything. Now, this is the main bedroom. I would say where the magic happens at, but I'm celibate, I don't have sex. And you got the walk-in shower right here above you. So you got the view of everything. This is what the fuck life is about. Come experience life. Come do different things, bro. Stop boxing yourself in. Get your passport. I'm bored of buying cars and all that goofy ass shit. Understood? I bought a lot of cars and stuff because I thought that's what being rich was. But that's really poor-minded, dumb shit because none of that really matters. Traveling is the one thing that you never can waste money on. As y'all know, I gamble for a living. I sports bet. Understand this, right? I don't care what you got. If you got $5 to your name, comment the word bet, B-E-T on this post, and I'm going to send you out my pick of the day. Understood? Since I've been out here, I made 6 figures, and I've been here 24 hours. Comment the word bet. If you got $5 to your name, I'll turn that shit up. I'll turn your $100 to $200. A lot of y'all betting, and y'all just giving y'all fucking money away because you don't know what you're doing. With me, you don't got to know nothing at all. Just comment the word bet. If you got $5, I'll turn you up.
Americans are leaving the U.S. more than ever before. But why? We left America 2 years ago, and today we'll be telling you guys 3 reasons why we left America. Reason number 1, which I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate, the cost of living. The average cost of living in America is $1,500, but in Thailand, it's $1,000 for a luxury house and $200 to $500 for a 1-bedroom apartment. Once we realized that our money could go further in other countries, we left immediately. We had what you could call the American dream. We had the house, the cars, and even had a dog. But that just wasn't enough. Something was just missing. Reason number 2, boring atmosphere. Ever since COVID, things have just been different. We started watching a lot of travel YouTube, and we realized there's a whole new world out there that we don't know about. We were this close to going to Mexico, but we realized we wanted something different, something the average American doesn't see. It's insane that 52% of Americans do not have their passport. Reason number 3, safety. Not saying everywhere in America is dangerous, but out of 100,000 people, at least 380 of them are subject to a violent crime. And you can literally kill someone and get out within hours like nothing happened. So we chose the peaceful route and started traveling to countries where crime is little to none. Living without worrying about your safety should definitely be normalized. Follow for part 2.
For all of y'all in my comments talking about y'all would never come to Africa, how y'all can't understand how I would leave America to come to a third world country, that's right there is how they got y'all. That's how they got y'all stuck, sick. Everybody got mental health problem. And I'm not saying that people here don't have problem, but here you can grow your own food, eat your own food, own lands. You can work hard and still have a good quality of life. You can still see your family. You can still spend time with your family. You can own farmland, acres, acres and acres of land for little as nothing. Over there, you work your whole life, even with a degree. The struggle in America is real. Everything is hand to mouth. Every single month on a retainer, people got bills.
If you're an American remote worker looking for a healthy lifestyle, I don't know why you wouldn't be living in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's affordable. You can live a 5-minute walk from the beach for $1,000 a month. Food is high quality. You can buy fresh coconut water on the street for $1. And it seems like everyone here lives a super active lifestyle. Today's Sunday, and you can see they shut down the entire street for everybody to just walk around, get outside, and enjoy the day. This is just something you would never see in the United States. And the time zone is only 2 hours ahead of New York. So if you're an American remote worker looking for a better, healthier lifestyle, I don't know why you're not living in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
So I'm 26 years old. I make over 6 figures in New York with a great job, and I booked a one-way trip to Rio on Monday. Don't really know what happens and implications to that. Technically I work remote, but I'm needed in the States a lot for different meetings and whatnot. I've always wanted to live abroad, and I went to Rio for 2 months recently, and it was like life-changing for me. I've always felt that if I do not take a leap in life, I will regret not making a decision more than I'll regret making a wrong decision, and I live by that. I also saw a quote recently where it was, you make a decision and then you make it the right decision. There's never a right decision. It's that you need to make a decision and then you make that decision the right decision. It's hard because I have people around me that are telling me that I'm crazy and I should always stay comfortable. But I think, one, I don't see myself working for someone for the rest of my life. I see myself doing other things. I have ventures that I want to chase after. I think this gives me the time to do that. Slash kind of puts my back against the wall, and also just living abroad, being in a different environment, I think will be really beneficial for me and my growth in life. And I'm really interested in learning Portuguese when I'm there as well. Let me know in the comments if anyone's ever done this, or just some advice. If you're an older person, if you've lived a little longer than me, give me some advice because I'm stressing.
I'm going to be straight up with you guys. Here are the main reasons why I'm choosing to stay in Brazil as an American, and excluding my relationship because that's of course the main reason, but I want to share the main reasons of why, I can't imagine not living in Brazil. So number 1, healthcare. I've talked about this before on my page. I've talked about this so much to everybody in my life, and I feel like I don't shut up about it, but healthcare in Brazil is so superior. It's so stress-free. Your insurance covers pretty much everything. I was able to get an MRI covered fully by insurance within 2 days of getting the request sent in. So I'm having a great time. My health here has been better than ever. I've been diagnosed with a bunch of things, but honestly, they're for the better. I'm able to get treatment. I'm able to get everything situated. It's amazing. So number 1 is healthcare. Number 2 is the food. And I think this goes along with healthcare, but the food here is so nutritious, so fresh, so delicious. I can't live without feijoada. I can't live without fresh fruits. Number 3 definitely has to be the lifestyle, because I'm so used to the United States with the grind, the hustle, and I feel like Brazilians truly understand the power of rest and the power of just enjoying yourself and your family and spending a lot of time with the people you love. And it's not that I didn't feel this in the United States, but I was never able to truly find the balance. And here I feel like I've found that balance. And since I'm working remotely, I'm able to have both. I'm able to have my career, I'm able to work, but I'm also able to spend a lot more time with the people I love. I'm able to prioritize myself and leisure and just enjoying my life, you know? And that's something Brazil does amazingly. And number 4 definitely has to be the weather. Like, Brazil has amazing weather. São Paulo is a bit colder in the winter than the rest of the northern areas, but I find that it's just so enjoyable to be able to go out on a weekend and like wear jeans and a t-shirt or a nice top where I'm not worried about getting cold all the time, because I'm from Chicago and Chicago gets really cold and sometimes you're just dressing for survival, not even about fashion. Yeah, I don't know if I can ever go back to living somewhere really cold. I'm just so spoiled by the warm temperatures here. And the last one simply has to be the people, because before I came to Brazil, I feel like I had much more social anxiety. I was much more nervous to do certain things, and since learning a new language and being able to talk with people, I've noticed how open and friendly Brazilians are. And even though I can't communicate completely yet, I still feel so welcomed, especially by my family here. And honestly, it's just been so lovely. So yeah, here's a little synopsis of why I choose to stay in Brazil.
I moved to Brazil a week ago, and here's some things that I noticed that are so different here. First of all, stop signs. No one stops at stop signs here. Here, stop signs are interpreted as slow down, and if there's no one there, you can go. Number 2, everything at the drugstore is so tiny. I bought toothpaste and it was like this big, and the paper towels are so small too. It's like this big for a roll of paper towels. Another thing I've noticed is that everyone goes out so late here. Restaurants back home in the US close at 10 p.m. Here, families go out to dinner at 9 p.m. Parking spaces here are tiny. They're the exact size of your car. There's no room for error. And last but not least, I've hugged more people in the last 5 days than I have in 2 years living in Chicago. But I like it though.
Let me tell you guys something, okay? The United States is getting a little ghetto. Okay, what's happening right now, it's a little crazy with all the stuff going on. It's getting a little crazy. So I want all the successful Brazilian people to tell me how I can invest in Brazil so that I can make money if I ever decide to go back. Like, what can I do? Because things are getting crazy here.
I'm an American who left the US 6 years ago, and I don't regret it, and this is why. So why did I leave the US? Of course, there are political reasons, but for me, the main thing was the culture. I have lived in the UK and France. I prefer having like life in the streets, being able to walk places. Of course, you can do that in a city like New York, but it's just different. I've also always loved like vintage, antique, old things in general. I love secondhand fashion. I love old architecture. I love old furniture items that you find on the side of the road. Again, these things exist everywhere, but to me, the prominence of that is stronger in Europe, which makes sense because the US is a very young country. Just like when I walk around Paris or Rome or small towns in the UK or central London, like there is just such a sense of history and beauty all around you. And of course, beauty is subjective, so this is genuinely just my opinion, but that's honestly the main reason why I moved abroad. And of course, like all of those political and financial reasons come into play as well. But in my heart, those were like the emotional reasons. I don't know, I just have so much to say about living abroad in general, and I don't want this video to be too long, but those are my thoughts for now.
Americans are leaving America, and it is not for vacation. It's for survival. A growing wave of Americans are packing up, terrified by Trump's dictatorship, Republican fascism, and Democrats' capitulation. Interracial couples, LGBT plus individuals, people of color, and intelligent people in general are seeing their rights replaced with restrictions. In Ireland, U.S. passport applications hit their highest level in a decade, up 60% in just 2 months. France is seeing long-term stay visas for Americans up 20%. Portugal, Spain, UK, relocation companies can barely keep up with demand. Traffic to Blacksit Global, which helps Black Americans relocate, surged 50% after the election. Some are leaving quietly, like a trans couple in Colorado, because Trump wrongly says there are only 2 genders. States are moving to ban gender care, so they're planning their exit. Google searches for how to leave the U.S. spiked after the election, and real estate deals for Americans in Spain surged before the Golden Visa program was shut down. European culture is different than American culture, and many won't adjust. And of course, Europe has its issues: immigrations, taxes. Putin expected to take Moldova and then Romania with his eyes on the rest of Europe for the new Russian Empire. But a possibility of another European war is a safer bet than staying in a country that is already a fascist dictatorship.